If I was a fan, and I am, if I was a fan paying money to come to an NHRA drag race right now, this is the year I would do, because it's better, it's faster, the racing is outstanding, and Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Stock, Bike, all of them is fantastic. Dollars spent to come to a race are worth it.
We're excited. I mean, we've obviously had some big changes this season. Obviously we're in Chevy Camaros out there, and it's exciting. I mean, it's definitely different for our teams. It's going to be a little bit of an adjustment, but like you said, we've already taken these cars out to Phoenix. We got to see what they can do on the racetrack, and I think for my prediction, it's definitely that, I think we've got some pretty good hot rods, and I'm excited to get down the racetrack out here at the Winter Nationals in Pomona and get the season underway.
Every time I line up at Pomona at the Winter Nationals, you feel like this is going to be your year. Even going throughout the season, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, just like in life. It's always a roller coaster, but at the same time, our chances are extremely, extremely well. We finished third in the points last year. Testing went extremely well, and I have Todd Okahara and Phil Schuler as my crew chiefs, and I have I'm being very optimistic about it. I want to win. I want to win every race, but more importantly, I want to win a championship, and I'm thinking this is our year.
It's very nice. Bob Vandegrift and C&J Energy, they give us all the resources to be able to get the parts and the people that we need to do it. Mike Guger's our crew chief, had them all last year, and really looking forward to running all the races this year, getting to him some more runs, and obviously us, and we got more shots at winning races that way too. So pretty excited for the season.
As it stands now, we'll run the funny car 4 or 5 times unless my deal gets finalized. And then we're working real hard on getting final commitments to let my wife run like 10 races with the Top Fuel car. The only difference is with her, it has to be funded correctly or we won't drag it out. I've made all the mistakes you can make out here, and I won't let her do it.
2015 is really going to be where we make our biggest leaps and bounds. We've had some improvements, and 2013 was my first year with the team. In 2014, settled in, won a couple rounds, had a semifinal finish. 375 was our lowest DT, but this year I really feel like we are going to be a very strong contender.
I'm excited to be with Chevy. It's good to have them back in funny car. We need all the manufacturers out here, but I'm proud that Chevrolet stepped up with John Force Racing, and looking forward to working with their engineers, and maybe we can be the ones to run that 394 with a little help from Chevy.
I'll tell you what, I haven't been this excited in a long time. Having David Grubman come in as the crew chief is really exciting. Working with my longtime old friend Lance Larson, whole bunch of new guys, and a new team owner that has had a love for drag racing from day one. He's been over in the NASCAR world for a long time. He's still there, and for him to take the plunge into drag racing for the first time as a owner with me makes me really excited, makes me feel good, and just, I tell you, everything is just going to be great.
The first thing is pressure.
Pressure. That's what this sport is all entailed into. And what it does is it makes everybody rise to another level. And then once that level is achieved, everybody catches up to it, and you have to go to a new level.
We have companies that are on the side of that car that we represent. There's a whole lot of money involved in the sport. So there's a lot of pressure on the driver and teams.
You see 16-car field separated by less than 1/10 of a second, but you see a lot of the drivers' reaction times have gotten down into the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and so I mean I think that's been an improvement, in the last 10 years, where it's not just you go from the mentality of not wanting to just be late. Now you have to be on time, but if even you have to be early.
It's unbelievable. I mean, the stuff that we're working on now to gain a few thousands here and 100 there, it's mind-blowing. You never would have thought that if you went back and talked to Big Daddy Don Garlis about, how to run faster, he'd be talking in a second. I can go a second faster. I can go. We're talking about thousands of a second to win these races. And, again, the Super Bowl is a great example of great moments at the end. That's what fans are paying for. That's what we expect. That's why we hire people, practice so hard, train so in such difficult conditions, is so that those races that are won by inches can be on our side. We go out and win this championship again and go for number 9. I think fans are going to get their money's worth, man. I'm just excited to get started.
I think by the end of the year, since there's no weight added to these funny cars, you're going to see runs low 90s. I mean, by the time we get to some tracks with really good conditions, we're going to see 92s and 93s. I have no question the way these crew chiefs are going about getting a handle on everything that can't be changed with the cylinder heads, the superchargers. We've got a brand new 2015 Charger body, which we think is going to be way better than the body we had.
Quicker than 395, yes. In fact, that 395 run we made at Englishtown last year dropped a cylinder at half track. A lot of people don't know that or talk about it, and it slowed it down 2 or 3 hundredths at least, I would say, and the car speed was slowed down at the finish line. So I would say there's a sub 395 out there for sure.
I think you look at trends. You look at it seems like we whittle off 100th every year, and it kind of averages out. But some years are bigger jumps than others. So you have to look at what's changed on there. The DSR cars have a brand new Dodge body. I think it's going to be a better body overall, but I don't know if it necessarily means it's going to be a quicker body overall. No big changes in the horsepower department, no changes in the tires. A lot of the teams are going to 6-disc clutch. It seems to make the cars run faster in the middle. You might see some bigger speeds.
Yeah, I think that you'll see something faster than the 395. We had a chance to ixnay all that back a couple years ago, but we allowed the cylinder heads to get bigger. We allowed the clutch to go to 6 discs, so I believe you're probably going to see something in the 92 to 93 range if conditions are just right and somebody hits it. But that 95 is pretty stout.
Well, I mean, I know that Brittany, I think, went 69, 369, and I think they can run that. I mean, she was in probably great conditions, and I don't know how many times throughout the season we see that. But I mean, it's certainly 70 flat is definitely something in the realm of making it almost a commonplace before the end of the year, I believe.
That 369, I was blown away when my guys told me about the run. When I got out on the other end, they told me we ran a 69, first ever to run in the 60s. And I remember, I think it's Antron that held that record in Reading a few years ago. And I remember thinking, I'm going to be the first to get into the 60s. And that was, when I was still testing at the time. But I wanted to do it, but now we have to make it an official record. So that's what we're going after this year.
Well, I really believe that high 360 mark could be in reach for us this season. Anything better than that would just be a miracle, I think, at this point in time. So I think you're going to continue to see more and more low 370 runs, and the occasional 369 might pop up here or there. But for the most part, I think it's just going to be close 370 racing for this season.
With the way Morgan finished the year last year around those 70s, like you said, there's no reason that either one of our two top fuel cars at Coletta Motorsports can't bust in the 60s, and there's at least 4 or 5 other cars throughout the class that can't do the same either. I mean, it's going to take the conditions are going to have to call for it, which, I mean, it can very well happen this weekend here in Pomona. I mean, this track is plenty good. If the air is right, Friday night you'll see some good times, or even Sunday evening. But it's a long season, and I'm just thankful for the opportunity to be driving for Connie. And once you strap in that thing, it's going to be a shot at low ET every time down the track. So hopefully we can be one of those first cars that cracked in the 60s. That'd be an awesome milestone to accomplish.